So pissed off. What can get in the way?
One boy spilt his drink, literally came up with a full pint, put it down on the table, knocked it over himself, and then proceeded, because to be fair, his seat was wet and he was soaked. But then he just stood right in the way of the telly for generally 10 minutes while they cleaned it. But he was just oblivious that there were folk behind him trying to watch the.
I always find that
again.
baffling, in those places. Folks stand and they're trying to find a table, or they can't find the table, right? So they're standing. So you're in the way of a telly. People are in here watching the telly. You fucking move.
It's tell you what, with that.
It's that busy though. It's impossible.
There's nowhere for anyone to stand yesterday. It was fucking.
That was quite a bad tackle. That Motherwell ball got sent off.
I don't remember it.
They gave him a yellow. It was right. It was last kick of the game stuff, and he gave him a yellow, but it was quite nasty, to be fair.
I even had the Celtic one on up the stairs, didn't they? And the other telly.
Yeah,
rare for a Super Sunday Scotland games, back-to-back Scotland games.
I thought that it was
unreal.
Why they've started doing 3 o'clock Sunday games on telly now, haven't they?
Yeah.
For that.
It's always just the old firms.
Yeah,
really
it's always Celtic game. I can't believe they didn't have Celtic Aberdeen on the telly that week.
I know.
No, Greg made a good point. They probably didn't at the start of the season. You're probably not thinking it is what it is, but surely we just put that on, eh?
It was a Saturday as well, right?
It was a Saturday, 3 o'clock. Yeah, it was just it doesn't normally get those big games. Right, should we get cracking on with it?
Yep.
Let's get fired in.
Let's get fired into it then. We'll start with. I think we've got. Let's start with Ten Hag. We'll start with Ten Hag, right? Because he's been sacked. I'll let Ali start with it because he's the Man United fan. But to be honest, I said this to Greg, right? See, when I woke up at fucking midday today, after absolutely sending it last night, when I woke up at midday today, I looked at my phone. I wasn't even that shocked.
Nah.
It didn't feel like big news. Do you know what I mean? How are you feeling about it?
Said to my dad last night after the game, I would not be surprised if Ten Hag is sacked.
Oh, really?
In the morning, yeah. Just saw it coming, felt. It's been on the wall for so long, eh? Yeah. Everyone's been saying it, when they got pumped by Spurs, was it 3-0, and that could have been 5 or 6. That was one of those days where you think, he's not got long left.
Yeah.
Says it all, I'm genuinely gutted.
I'm gutted as well.
Yeah. Which says everything you need to know.
He's been so delusional in his post match pressers as well.
Yeah.
Been happy with points away at Fenerbahce and
Porto,
and saying that his team's playing well and just coming up with excuses. They've been unlucky, they've been shite.
Yeah.
And no two ways about it.
Yeah.
It's probably clutching at straws a wee bit, I think. Trying to, if you say something enough, you start believing it is probably what he's been kind of doing. But I mean, if you look at some of I was having a little read today and whatnot, if you look at some of the stats so far in terms of goals, I think only Southampton have scored less goals in the league and stuff like that. And 14th, I seen a thing if Everton and someone else win, they could be 16th by the time they kick off against Chelsea on Sunday. Which is obviously not where,
for me, it's
not where United want to be.
It's well deserved. He's been coming and he's had his time. After the cup final last year, I thought I would deservedly give him a chance. I know you boys seen this coming at the end of last season, to be honest, but he needed to build some momentum from that, and he's gone backwards if anything.
It is meant to give him a new contract, though. I know, as you said, they were probably trying to build on something, but it wasn't great. So to give him a contract extension is just the weirdest decision ever.
I feel like Ineos were just trying to show that they were backing him in, they're trying to right, we're all together, we're gonna move the club forwards and that. But yeah, like you said, mate, when you won, I remember Sam watching the FA Cup final in Robbie's Greg, and you won, and we were both class, he'll keep his job.
Yeah.
Genuinely, Man United won the FA Cup, and I was sweet, he'll break it. I mean, you were actually really good that day, in fairness. But like you said, it's not gone. It has gone backwards.
Gone backwards, aye.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, I think it's just out his depth. I think it's just plain and simple, he's out his depth.
Yeah.
His recruitment's been very, very poor, relying on players that done well for him at Ajax in a Farmers League. And maybe the players just aren't good enough either, maybe not Premier League standard. I think Man U's actual expected goal stats are pretty good this year, but they've, Ten Hag fucked off Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And then brings in Højlund and Zirkzee.
Yeah.
Who have never had a goal scoring record, really. They're 2 kids.
Yeah.
And you saw in the game yesterday, just based yesterday highlights, if Ronaldo's on the pitch, just taking Ronaldo for example, because he used to be there,
You'd
he would have scored 3 at half time.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
And Ten Hag would still have a job.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's fine margins, but it's his fault at the end of the day. The recruitment's poor.
Do you think? I thought when he signed all the Ajax players, I was like, "What's going on?" Because that to me was a big you're almost going to people that you know that you've worked with, which is fine. But when you're getting those many guys in, it's kind of almost like I don't trust myself to like prove to other people that like I've got what it takes. Do you think that I think this is a good time for like? Do you think that if you look at the team, like Rashford's been there for a long time now, right? Who else has been there? I like Bruno, to be fair. But Bruno is actually decent. But do you think like is there an acceptance too that maybe those guys are just not very good because they're Premier League players? But like where are we at with the players as well, though? Do you know what I mean?
I think the players are definitely a lot better than what they've currently shown.
Right. Yeah. Do you think they're top 4?
Aye. I think if Manchester United had I don't have to say a good manager. Ten Hag was meant to be a good manager. I don't know. I think they've got the players to be top 4. Certainly doing a lot better than what they are.
Yeah.
When they played, was it Villa they played the other week?
0-0.
Yeah.
I remember I was sitting and I was looking at the Villa. I went on live squad and looked at the squads, and to be fair, I was looking at that Villa squad and the United squad, like starters, bench, everything. I know obviously a few injuries and that, but I was looking at it and I was like, I think that Villa squad's better than that United squad.
Yeah.
Like Neville said that on his podcast about the Spurs squad as well.
Mm-hmm. Did it?
Like, looked at it on paper and was like, I'd actually rather have the Spurs squad.
I don't think how bad the recruitment's been spoken about enough. It's kind of seems to fall on like him not getting his style of play and all these kind of things. But I think the recruitment's been like
the amount of money for the players that they've brought in.
It's been so bad. See, if you don't get the recruitment right, like honestly, it doesn't matter like who you've got.
Yeah.
I even thought like the Mason Mount signing I think was a bit weird. I don't know what he was thinking with that. He's clearly like a number 10. And like he's wanting to go play instead of the captain. Like what's he gonna do? Push Bruno out the team? Like there was no way that was ever gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Casemiro one. I mean, I don't know.
He was good for the first like 18 months or whatever. Wasn't he?
He wasn't he? To be fair.
But I've seen another thing today though. It is interesting if you think about managers that have gone there. Like Mourinho, obviously a great example. And then towards the end of his like Man United tenure, he was like people were actually questioning if he could still do it. So it's like managers do go there, and obviously Ten Hag was meant to be like a tactical genius kind of thing, and as you say, it looks like he doesn't even know what he's attempting to do.
Yeah.
So there must be something like
it's from top to bottom,
exactly,
isn't it? Because it's
like
like
the club.
I don't really know the setup. I only know Liverpool's like structure and setup of the club and that, but I don't know what. From my understanding, United don't like have a lot in place and stuff.
It's all new with the Ineos boys, right? Like everything's changing, so it's going to take time. But like you said, Ali was signing like Xerxes and Højlund, like Jesus, there's my voice. Signing Xerxes and Højlund. I actually don't mind you signing for potential, but he didn't like I said at the start of the season, he didn't have time to like.
I like
2 years.
I like Højlund. I think Xerxes. I don't see anything in him at all.
I like Højlund, but also he was
Højlund needs experienced boys around him.
He needs to be like there needs to be a main striker and he needs to come in for a year or two, learn, play the cup games.
It would have been good if remember they had like Cavani and Ibrahimovic and Højlund would have been class with them two around them.
Yeah.
Like that sort of blend, but
the other thing that I've just not got with Ten Hag though is like everyone's known he's been under pressure for the last like 4 or 5 weeks, whatever. The amount of like squad rotation and like subbing folk off at half time,
centre halves,
like so weird. Like you think if you were under that much pressure and you wanted to try and keep your job, you would be like, right, I'm putting my best 11 players on the pitch. We always talk about Garnacho not playing.
Yeah,
he's easily, in my opinion, your best winger. And then Ten Hag brings him on for like 15 minutes at the end of games. Like, surely if you were under pressure, I think he might have wanted sacked.
I was wondering. I think I woke up feeling worse than Ten Hag today. Genuinely, I think
he's delighted.
Today, Is he getting a payout on that?
Yeah, it's like 15.
He will.
15.
He never really. My big thing, he never stuck to. It seemed like he never stuck to his principles, and like he seemed like he chopped and changed a lot, and that's a problem. And he had the Sancho stuff. Like he said, I was watching something today, and they were talking about all the little things that he had. There was a lot of little things going on, Sancho, Ronaldo. It just felt like he never. I don't feel like he backed himself, to be honest. At all.
He did with Ronaldo, to be fair, didn't he?
Yeah.
The weird thing is like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's Ten Hag not kind of known for like being like possession based and controlling games and that. Was that not what
Ajax,
his thing was before?
Yeah.
Like that, but like when you had your good spell, you were actually best when you were on when you were hitting kick on the counter attack and that, and you had like Rashford and that going. So I don't know if he's come into it and he's thought.
I think he's tried to play like 5 or 6 different styles of play.
He has
through Man U. 1 week they're pressing, another week they're trying to contain. They're playing different formations, different personnel. Like Josh is saying, he's not. I don't think he's backed himself. No. I think he's been very reactive of a couple of defeats, and then that's not working. I'm going to have to do something else.
Yeah,
spot on. If you think
and then players looking at you going like, well, you're not backing yourself. I'm not backing you, right? And then And then it's sport, it's little things, and you're not running as hard, and you're not covering the ground you should be doing. You're not running back when you should run back. Like it all adds into little things. Do you guys see what Keane put? I screenshot this earlier. After see what Keane put up?
No.
Roy Keane put up on Instagram, literally a picture of him in the rain with his rain jacket on. But he, I liked it. It was obviously I'm assuming this is to do with Man United. He said, in good teams, coaches hold players accountable. In great teams, players hold players accountable. Because he said for years he doesn't like the players.
Yeah.
He said it, and everyone keeps getting sacked. Like, at what point? This is what I'm saying. At what point do you look around and go, right, Rashford out? Like you're a boyhood Man United guy and all that out. I think Bruno's been good, but Bruno struggles. I don't think you can have Bruno be your leader. Like, Bruno's someone in a good team. Like, you put Bruno in City or Liverpool, is class because you can kind of carry that a little bit, but you're asking Bruno to be the one to lead the team, and I don't think that's his characteristic. I mean, fuck man, you could go through it. I actually quite like Dalot, but I mean, I think you could really go through most of that team and get rid of all of them.
It's so hard to do that though, isn't it? Like, if you think about how long that's going to take.
Plus the wages everyone's on.
Exactly.
But then
back to the recruitment.
You need to just do what they've just tried to do with Ten Hag though, is bring in a manager, give him time, and let him build it. And it's like,
it doesn't scream like the gaffer that like you're buzzing to play for the way. The way he speaks. Like, he's not going to get you up for a game at half time or before a game.
I totally thought that too.
Like, you look at how like Klopp and Emery and whoever else there is.
Even Slot, even the way Slot talks.
Slot, yeah. They're like, you think, you'd listen to him, you get a buzz off how they want to play and stuff. And he just seems boring, eh? Like, switch off. Yeah.
I think that it was just you're United are at a place. I said this about what Klopp did for Liverpool. Like, United are at a place now where you need to find that guy that's going to revive the whole club. Like, you're now not coming in with like, oh, this guy's got his tactics and style play. You need someone that's going to revive the club. Like,
what do you think of the job as a whole? Like, the actual appealing factor to a world class gaffer coming into, like, how do they see Man U? Do they now see it as a massive opportunity, or do they see it as a real risk to their reputation?
I think it's a real risk.
Because like, Mourinho's come in and he left with a damaged reputation. Van Gaal did, Moyes did, Ten Hag's now gone, Ralph Rangnick. I think the only one that maybe has a slight kind of keep their head held high is Solskjaer, because they didn't really have any before to go on.
Yep. Came second and third, mate.
So like, if we're getting a big manager coming in again, they'd be like, I might not get another good job after this.
And I seen a thing today though, is like, for where United are right now, like, it probably isn't like, maybe you do need to, obviously not that he's not a good manager, but more like your Thomas Franks or Eddie Howe's and stuff like that, because that's maybe more. I mean, to be honest, at the moment you probably need a manager that's ready for a relegation battle. Big Sam or
Big Sam
lure Sean Dyche away from Everton, maybe a decent wee contract. But yeah, I just don't think you can't sit there, like, even before Ten Hag, like Zidane was obviously touted quite a lot originally, but like Zidane's no way going to United. I'd be shocked if he did. I mean, I hope he's got Southgate.
Zidane's one of them, right, where I think everyone thinks he's a really good manager because of what he did at Real Madrid, but I don't think he'd be that good anywhere else.
Just had the best players ever, basically.
So he could really, like, he's a prime example of like ruining his reputation of a good manager.
I agree with you on that Zidane one. Like, I think that was just like right time. That's obviously been a bit harsh. He obviously had to do the job, but like right place, right time. Like the players, the squad that they had. Just he knew how to manage all those guys, right? Like he knew how to do that really well. Yeah, I think you're right, Beads. I think they're in a spot now where you are looking at like Thomas Frank and stuff like that. You need to. That's my thing, though. I think the whole thing just needs to completely revive. Like it's where Liverpool were before Klopp came in.
It's so
right?
dead.
Yeah. It's like winning the odd trophy here and there, which is good, but we knew like it was shite. Like the odd, like, I mean, you sent the thing, Ali, right? We were having that big debate on the text group the other day. I mean, I'll read out to Matthew. Ali sent this, like, Van Gaal came 4th with United and then came 5th. Also won the cup, and then you sacked him, right? Won the FA Cup and sacked him. Yeah. Mourinho came 6th, then came 2nd. Solskjaer came 6th, then 3rd, then 2nd. Ralph Rangnick came 6th, then 3rd, and Ralph Rangnick came 6th. Ten Hag then came 3rd, and then came 8th. But it's mad to think the 2s and the 3s because it doesn't feel like it.
Nah.
Do you know what I mean?
I know, but as we were saying in that, and fair enough, it's still 2nd and 3rd, but like, as I said, the one year you were 35 points behind Liverpool to finish 3rd. It's like there's still a gap there.
Yeah.
So and then obviously like that was under Solskjaer, right? And then the performance levels fell off drastically under Solskjaer, so they had no choice but to empty empty him eventually.
Yeah.
Which I think that's what's probably happened with Ten Hag, was like, let's be honest, if Ten Hag was in charge for the whole season, you'd probably wouldn't finish in the top 10
this
year.
Yeah.
I don't
if
think
you give
so
him a full year.
It's
just the performances, like for the whole Ten Hag era, you can't think of really a spell of when you think, oh man, you're playing well, they're dominating teams.
Totally.
Even in the games that they win 1-0 or 2-1, they've been battered.
Yeah.
They concede like 30 chances.
Yeah.
It's unheard of.
Matthew was right when what you said about. I remember it was the second half of his first season where you started to play on the counter attack, and you were pretty frightening. Who was up top then? It was obviously Rashford. Who else was there? Because I don't think Garnacho was really in the fold at the time. Anyway, and I remember thinking, he's on to something here a little bit. And then you came back from the season, and then it kind of turned into, like, you kind of have to, like, grow from it. Like, I remember when, and I'm just using as an example, but, like, when Klopp came in and we got Salah and Firmino and that, we hit teams on the counter-attack for the first 18 months.
Yeah.
And then teams started going, fucking hell, well, we can't just be playing high against Liverpool anymore. And then teams sit back, so then you as a manager now have to progress, right? What's the next phase of the team? And it just didn't really, Ten Hag never really took on to the next phase, what we're saying. I don't think he backed himself to, like, what was that next phase. Like you said, he kept chopping and changing.
Yeah.
It was just fucking mental. Interesting point, I'd seen this today. So every Man United manager in the Premier League, Ten Hag managed 85 matches, won 44, drew 14, lost 27, a win percentage of 52%. So, I mean, he's better than Solskjaer's win percentage. Mourinho's is 54%, Van Gaal was 51, Moyes is 50, Sir Alex Ferguson 65%. So, I don't know, it's not that bad. Do you know what I mean?
His first season was, results-wise, was decent.
Yeah.
Third place and the League Cup was like a decent season for where Man U were, picking up from where they did 6 or something the year before.
Yeah.
And then last season was a disaster, and this season's been a disaster. But like I was saying, his results might be okay. But how many times have you watched Man United and thought, they've got away with murder today?
Yeah. And also, it's the results against the teams that you're meant to be competing against.
Yes.
Like,
And
Liverpool, Man City, Spurs a couple of weeks ago.
Those stats where they've conceded 3 or more goals or been hammered are frightening.
Yeah. And that is because you just concede so many chances.
Yeah.
Like, as Neville always says, anyone that's got a little bit of quality is going to take. If you're giving them 30 chances, of course they're going to take 3 or 4 of them.
And you would always, it seemed to say, we'll wrap up on this, but it always seemed to be the same cycle. Like, you'd get, like, when you got beat by Spurs, I thought, because that's usually in the cycles the ones that you wins. And then they would go back for, like, 5 more games, and then we'd all be like, class, everyone's like, Ten Hag's back. And then 5 games later, you'd be like, yeah, these are fucking so shite, right? But then that never happened. It seemed to be like a weird cycle. I really don't know where they go, mate. I don't know where you go. Like, I've seen there's a lot of talk like Xavi. I'm like, oh, I don't like that either, to be honest.
I'm the same. I don't know where we go. I don't know the managers that are out of work. I don't really like any of them.
No.
Yeah.
I think they should actually try and approach a club and buy out a manager out their contract.
Yeah.
They just pick someone that they want.
Yeah.
Rather than seeing who's available.
Yeah. I don't know where you go. Anyone got anything else on us on United before we move on?
I said they should have went for Deserbi all in, like.
Yeah, you fucking love Deserbi. How's he doing at Marseille?
Well.
I think Marseille are doing okay.
Yeah.
Greenwood is cooking.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. There's a lot. It's going to be a while, isn't it? There's a lot that needs to.
I think Van Nistelrooy will be in there for.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what could actually happen is Van Nistelrooy gets that new manager bounce.
Yeah.
Man, you think, oh, we'll just appoint him.
Yeah.
And then the new manager bounce wears off, and the whole cycle repeats again.
Totally.
And that's what has been happening. Yeah, that's what has been happening.
Because he's going to be in for about a month or something, a month and a half at least. Because that's definitely a knee-jerk decision after the back of last night's game.
Yeah.
You don't have a clue they're going to appoint.
Yeah.
Nah.
And I know I almost thought that as you talk about new manager bounce, you've got Chelsea next, which is quite tough. Like obviously quite tough. Chelsea are actually playing quite well. After that, you've got some like quite winnable games. I'm quite surprised they didn't just get through the Chelsea game, then sack him, and then go right where the new manager comes in and has like
good run,
4 or 5 pretty winnable fixtures,
games.
Gets a bit of a bounce. Mind you, the issue would be that Ten Hag would probably go and beat Chelsea, and then you can't sack him. I guess.
Exactly. Well, like I say, that's been 6 months coming for me personally from the outside looking. Like every game that he stayed in, I was like class, and then now I'm like, oh, he's gone, but I really don't know where he's go. Let's talk about yesterday then, Super Sunday. I'm assuming you watched it as well?
Yeah.
Did you watch it? Matthew, did you get up from your hangover and watch it?
I slept for the first half.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Right, well, I watched it with Beans. We were obviously at Malone's like we were saying. I'll start us off on this. I thought Arsenal were actually really good. I think we said to each other a lot in the game, like, Arsenal have been really good. That's the first time so far for Liverpool on their slot. Like, I felt like Liverpool were pinned in.
Yeah.
I felt like Liverpool couldn't get out.
Yeah.
And I thought that Arsenal were really, really good. On the flip side of that, watching the game, I remember looking at the clock. I don't know if I said this at the time, and they were doing their typical stuff that they do under Arteta, where they go down in that. And I looked at the clock, and it was like 56 minutes. And I thought, yous are completely on top of us here. It was almost like it was like 10 to go. And I was like, Liverpool got Salah in that. Like, you're going to allow Liverpool back into a game. And I think they were a little bit architects of their downfall. And that was before Gabriel went off, to be honest. I don't think they're not going to do it this year. They're not going to do it this year. They're too. It's very Mourinho Chelsea, I think. Like, it's almost like everyone's against us and like we're just gonna defend. And I don't think they have the strikers, the attacker, to get them those wins. Saka was fucking class yesterday, by the way. His goal was unreal. Robbo was struggling. We'll get on to Robbo, but I just thought Arsenal were really good. But I thought architects of their own downfall. I don't know what everyone else's thoughts were on it, but
yeah, I think that they were good. I do think that they obviously do have some injuries, and I was saying that at the time. I think Liverpool, if you're going to go to the Emirates and beat them, that's as good a chance you'll get at Arsenal at the moment. To be fair, like they literally had a makeshift back four at the end of the game once Gabriel went off.
Yeah,
that I was a little bit disappointed that Liverpool.
What's that?
Like,
sorry, Craig showed something. Oh, Amaron.
Oh, that was about.
Oh, really? I totally forgot about
Ruben Amaron. Wow,
I hope
I
they get him
forgot
in his
about
rubbish.
yeah. That's the one that like Liverpool were.
Yeah, that's a Liverpool were heavily.
Interesting. Wow. Just saw that there.
No.
Oh, cheers. No, that's good.
He was going to go to West Ham as well.
News.
Breaking news, mate. Breaking news on Cannon Conley's pub.
Yeah,
so that's pretty big. Wow, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, he's got good credential at Sporting.
He does have good credential at Sporting. They've been good in the. I've seen a thing of like the players he's bought and like how they've done, and then they've sold them. Like Ugarte's actually one of them to like PSG and stuff like that. That's an interesting one. Ruben Almiron, I totally forgot about him. Yeah. So sorry, Beans, you're saying Liverpool to go to the Emirates.
Yeah, just thought like that was a real good chance to actually go in, because Arsenal do have quite a lot of injuries, but I suppose you could say on the flip side to that, they went through the whole of last season basically without an injury, and they didn't quite get over the line. So maybe they missed their chance there, but. I do think, obviously, I think it's like obviously Saka's like was very, very good.
Yeah, he was
even when he was injured, because he didn't play the Bournemouth game, right, and they obviously lost.
Yeah,
shows you what kind of big miss he is, which sounds obvious.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought overall a draw was probably a fair result yesterday. To be fair,
both teams don't have enough to win the league.
No chance.
Both teams don't have enough to do it. You're gonna City, but City always start like this, don't they? I feel like you always like City aren't at it this year, and I'm fucking.
Then all of a
sudden,
I don't know. It's a little bit different with Rodri missing.
Yeah,
since he's been injured, you can totally tell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like their last 3 league games have been like 1-0. They beat Fulham 3-2, and they scraped by someone else.
They scored in the last minute against
was
Wolves.
the Wolves. 2-1.
Yeah.
And they're all just since Rodri's been injured. Obviously, De Bruyne's injured as well. It makes a massive difference to them. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens when their Champions League kind of games ramp up. And
yeah.
I think
I still think. I've said Arsenal start the season. I still think Arsenal will do it.
I just don't think they have enough. I think that they're like the way that they're trying to do it is interesting, but I just don't know. Like I say, like Saka's there, but I just don't know if they have that guy up top to like win you those games. And to be honest, I mean, obviously they've had all the red cards, but like they haven't been keeping clean sheets. I mean, I tried to double up in fantasy, thinking it was like the one to go, and they haven't been keeping clean sheets.
Yeah, they've conceded goals recently. Yeah, I reckon the first half in the game yesterday, I was watching and I thought, it looked like men versus boys a bit. It was like an experienced, well-drilled Arsenal side that have been at that level for a while against this up-and-coming slot team.
Yep.
And they got battered, you got penned in.
Yeah, couldn't get out.
And like you were touching on, Robertson got hammered on that side. Everything came from that side.
He's struggling. His level's dropped.
I was going to say that because obviously you boys will be watching him closer than me. He looks like he's off it. He's like lost a yard of pace.
I think it's
His level's dropped. His level's dropped. Like it's funny. Like he's obviously still class. I love him, but we were saying yesterday in the pub, right? I said Robertson used to be the guy that could play 120 minutes for Liverpool, go play 90 minutes for Scotland, and never drop him and never come out the team. And this year, end of last year, he's dipped a wee bit.
Because it's like the other way around. Like last year you're saying like teams are going to target Trent with balls in behind, and they never went down the left.
No, they didn't.
But this year it's the other way around. Like Trent's defending really well.
Yeah.
And it's like Robertson's getting done. Balls over the top. He's getting done by pace like that. I know Saka's fast, and so is Madueke last week. But it's similar stuff. Like they both had them on toast.
He was so rash. Obviously Saka's done well to Megan, but like Robertson's basically just tried to clear it out, like and take everything with him.
It's more than one time he was on his arse yesterday.
Yeah.
There's one time Saka cut in, and I think he had a shot wider over, but Robertson was like trying to track him on his arse.
Yeah.
I think as a defender, if you're having to last ditch, then you're not in the right place, right? You're making mistakes. His level's dipped. I also think he's playing a different type of position. Like if you look at Liverpool with Slot, it's not a lot about to do with the wing backs at all. Like Trent, even Trent doesn't really go forward that much. Like he's playing those balls from deep. If you watch the game, Robertson's almost like Matthew. We've had this chat the other week. Robertson's almost like a third centre half. Do you know what I mean? Rather than like a left back. Even when Tsimikas plays, like I'm trying to think of moments this season where Robertson's been up at the box to like put crosses in. Like Liverpool they're not really using him like that. So I think that's played a part in it too. But his level's definitely dipped. I think that's a problem because Tsimikas is not very good. Matthew fucking hates him.
That is terrible. I think we'll sign I think that's probably one of our top priorities is to bring in like a left-footed
centre half
/ left back and have him slot right in there. And
from a Liverpool point of view, are you disappointed at getting a point? The way that the game went, the way that Arsenal, the injuries, because that back four at the end was like third.
Yeah, I would take a point at the Emirates at the moment all day regardless.
But if you look at that fixture at the start of the season, you probably go
take a point.
But going into the game, I thought, what a chance.
I thought we'd win yesterday.
With the injuries that had Saliba been out.
Yeah.
Although Saka coming back in was a bit of a bonus. He was.
Yeah.
I know. I didn't actually realise he was going to play.
Yeah, they gave him the whole week off, the fuckers, man.
But then Gabriel injured, Timber injured, Partey's at right back.
Red cards. Saliba wasn't there.
Yeah. So.
Calafiori. I was quite confident yesterday. I thought we'd go there and beat them. So to answer your question, I'd take the point. I think as well we went behind twice too.
Yeah.
So we've come back twice, which is good to see. Again, like it was the first time for Slot that Liverpool had been like penned in and like didn't really have control of the game. And we've been again though like.
I think great match though.
Yeah, but like I don't remember like Kelleher having to make saves though. Like I feel like this season with Liverpool, the games have been really tight, but I don't remember there's obviously always going to be moments. I don't remember, like, apart from the goals that yesterday.
Defensively, we've been amazing this season.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
We've been so much better defensively under Klopp.
Yeah.
We probably would have, conceded a few more under.
Kanate's been good.
Kanate's been
match.
He's gone under the radar this season, mate. Yeah. See, you've been he's literally, the boy's an absolute joke.
And that helped, and to be fair, what you were saying about them playing over the top to Trent, that helps massively because Kanate is rapid and huge.
It's really interesting, though, because I pretty much think every game we've tweaked something at half time.
Mm-hmm.
Like tactically, he's next level, man. And then second, I don't know, I'm trying to work out what it is exactly done, but I think we dealt with I remember him saying in his press conference, we dealt with the overload better. The second half, he tweaked a few things with Trent to deal with it, and then obviously we kind of had the better second half. Maybe it comes down to injuries and that as well, but second half, we're changing formations and everything this season.
Yeah,
we're setting up in a midfield 3 standard 6-8-10. We started off with a double pivot and an actual 10.
Yeah.
We've now transitioned into Gravenberch as an actual 6 and then McAllister Szoboszlai either side. We seem to really just adapt. Sometimes we overlap, sometimes he tucks in. We seem really adapted this season, which is interesting to see.
I know he played really well against Chelsea, but I was surprised that Jones didn't get hooked earlier yesterday. Non-existent in the first half.
I would have played Szoboszlai. I mean, everyone's been having that, but when you watch it and you watch the games and you see what he actually does, and he's kind of the key. He's kind of the key to a lot of that. And I don't think folk appreciate that a lot. But
it's really physical. I think when the team sheet dropped yesterday, I thought we're a little thin with like Elliot being out, Jota being injured. Just for like folk to come off the bench, I think he just thought I'd like to have Szoboszlai off the bench rather than.
We've
Jones.
not. It's gonna come back to like with the no signing players and that. It's kind of been because we started the season so well. It's kind of gone under the radar. But I've always said if we start to get injuries, where I think we'll struggle. We're not quite at that level, and I think that's where we might get lucky. We might not. It seems to. The trainings and stuff and the sports science in terms of what they've implemented seems to be a lot better. I mean, I know it's maybe way too early to actually make that call.
But like Kanate's playing every 2 days.
Kanate literally looks as sharpest and like fittest he's ever been, and he used to not be able to play like what it was a couple games and get injured, a couple games, and there's loads of other boys as well. So it could play a massive part. We could like some teams go seasons without just getting lucky with injuries, and that's just one of those things, isn't it? But,
what did you think yesterday? Like overall, then Ali, did you think the draw was a fair result? Was it neutral?
Aye. Yeah. I thought Liverpool were the better team second half.
Okay.
By a mile. And like what you were touching on earlier on, Arsenal brought it on themselves.
Yeah, they did.
They made defensive subs like quite early on in the second half. Like I felt obviously the first half, they were well on top, and they were still on top for kind of the first kind of 10 minutes a second. They really could have pushed on for like a third goal.
I do too, yeah.
But obviously their injuries maybe didn't help Arteta's thinking, but yeah, like it felt like they went defensive so
early.
I wonder like it'd be so interesting to be a fly in the wall there and be like, at what point do Arteta and the coaches sit down and start to work on that and implement that into the team and that, like I would love to know their thought process behind. It's clearly a thing, like everyone's not just talking about it for the sake of it. Like he's never usually done that, has he?
So I mean, this season he's really gone balls to the wall with it.
Yeah, like it's emphasised and highlighted loads, and I'd love to know why. Like
it's almost like
there.
I don't think he thinks they have a lot of goals in them. For like, I think he's almost like right, let's not concede. We've got Saka and that, we'll get one, but let's not. Like it's almost like he doesn't. I don't know. Feel like they've got goals in them, and I think last year that was a big talk, wasn't it? In the towards the end of the run-in, like they were missing a few chances, and they were like they've got Havertz as like a knife. I don't know if he's almost kind of like doesn't back them going forward.
So maybe just not having Odegaard as well at the moment, so they don't create maybe as much.
Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah, like I mean, he's unreal.
Massive,
they play more. They actually, I thought they played play more football. You know what I mean? Like I thought they played quite a lot yesterday, but I agree with you, Bean. It's almost like he's come out and he's like, we can't dominate the ball and stuff like that. Like we're going to change, which to be fair, it's pretty good as a manager to be able to adapt to that. I think when he comes back in, they'll change again.
How long's he out for? They never said.
I don't know.
It's not that long left.
No.
Is it?
So Odegaard.
Yeah, another month maybe.
Arteta said they asked his interview and he said, I think he said something like we still have a long way to go. I think his exact words were. Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, with Odegaard. I noticed that. Yeah, I was like, I thought it was maybe quicker, but he said, yeah, we've still got a long way to go with that one. That's what he said. Yeah.
They'll be different when he comes back. I mean, obviously that's their best. Anyone's missing their best player, but they've just gone balls to the wall. It really reminds me of Mourinho at Chelsea. It's like really annoying to play against as well, like quite hard. But I don't think they're quite emotional. Like they're emotional too, though.
Yeah.
Almost maybe a little too much. Like that's another thing that's been labelled at them. Like they're quite emotional. Liverpool. On the flip side of that, by the way, Liverpool are so much more calm. But there was a little bit of me in the second half that thought, I reckon if you've got, I know you can't, but I reckon if you've got that Klopp energy, Liverpool might go and nick that 3-2. Whereas I felt like just with Slot's demeanour, do you know what I mean?
I think they would have.
Sometimes it's like it's a weird one though, but then it's good to go to the Emirates sometimes and have that kind of calm and control in those games if you're going to go to those types of places. So, but yeah, I remember thinking to myself, well, if you had that Klopp, not Klopp, but just that energy or that impetus about you a bit more to go, I think you might nick that 3-2 yesterday.
I think a draw is fair.
Yeah.
But I think both teams will be looking back at that and thinking they wish they put more into it when they were on top.
Yeah. I agree.
Because there was chances for both teams to, like at the end, Liverpool could have got a third. Arsenal could have probably pushed to go 3-1 up.
It's a good point for Liverpool, by the way. I think.
Yeah.
I think if you look at it and
you
could go to the Emirates and I might look at this like later in the season and be like, it's pretty big.
Yeah.
Pretty big point because a lot of teams are still going to go to Emirates. Like, they'll Arsenal probably still beat the majority of teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Emirates. What do you think about just real quick about the whole switching formations under Slot?
What do I think about it?
Yeah,
I like it, but it's working so far. I think that again, when his way of management seems to really be about. It's very, very tactical. It's very tactical, which again is what I'm saying is like it doesn't quite have that emotion of a Klopp, obviously, But yeah, he knows the game really, really well. That was a fucking spider. He knows the game really, really well. And yeah, he's good at changing things in the game. He's really good at changing things in the game.
Yeah.
What do you think about? I mean, it's kind of last bit on this ball. So I thought this was interesting because Arsenal have been really good at it. But 2 of the goals yesterday are set pieces. Liverpool scored from the corner, and Arsenal's. I actually was really worried every time Liverpool gave a free kick away. Like how big, like the set piece coach again was on the fucking. I know they said that's like the football and that, like how they've gone really into that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm off. I just think if a delivery is that good,
Yeah,
it's so fucking hard to stop, man.
Yeah.
If a delivery is like Declan Rice's, he put in the 2 free kicks when Rangers scored both of them. How do you defend? I don't know how you defend that.
that's what I wanted to ask you. Is what do you think about all that set piece coaches and that? Because like, is it sometimes that you said, is it really just about delivery of the ball and who wants to get there first?
Delivery is huge.
Yeah.
Like, you can set up all you want, but if the ball's not right, then you're not going to score.
Mm.
But it is a chance, like it's a free chance to try and score a goal. Do you know what I mean? Like corners, free kicks. You see kickoffs. People are getting throw-in coaches. Like every team's got routines for all these like set pieces.
Arsenal are massive.
If you get it right, like it's
like when you look at
so effective.
Like
the team's big.
The size of the team.
Yeah.
See, for me though, Rice's goal, Marino's goal, Rice's delivery. Liverpool have lined up and they're all just looking at the ball and they've got no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, they're obviously aware that the 4 or 5 Arsenal boys are going to come in, but surely like the 3 or 4 Liverpool defenders in the middle of that line have to open their shoulders a bit and be aware of where they're going to come in. Yeah. Maybe drop a bit.
It is partly the ball is because it goes over Van Dijk's head by like literally an inch.
Yeah.
But he doesn't look like he has a clue. I don't think he's looked at the Arsenal boys once.
Yeah.
Like just say Van Dijk wanted to hold the line and the boy behind him dropped back, they wouldn't be aware. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I thought that
defensively you can look at
Yeah, I thought that Liverpool really backed, and they have done for a while. Like Liverpool almost backed like Van Dijk. I would say Van Dijk to like lead that line of offside. I think like Liverpool play. Of all the teams I watched, Liverpool seemed to back Van Dijk to get the reading right and have his back 4 together.
Do you remember how high
VAR?
Remember how high we played? Was it last year under? It last year under Klopp? Remember when
so high, mate.
Teams would have set pieces and we'd literally you obviously kind of got your normal line, whatever that may be. We were probably like easy 5-10 up from that. Remember that?
Yeah, playing. That's what I mean. They're backing themselves to like hold the line and VAR to do it, but. Yeah, man. Arsenal were good. I don't think either team actually has enough to win it. I think City
win it.
I think so. Yeah, I just think
Chelsea's up there. No.
Too inconsistent still, I think.
Still too inconsistent. Beating Newcastle yesterday was good though. That's a good
result. I thought Chelsea would win, but just for instance, like the Forest result they drew, what was that? 1-1 at home a couple weeks ago. Just results like that, they'll do too many of them.
Yeah.
I know Chelsea were well on top of that game, but
when you say up there, do you mean like top 4?
Well,
or for the
Liverpool are something going to challenge for it then. What, City going to run away with it, or Chelsea going to challenge as well?
I don't think City will run away with it. I just don't think Liverpool or Arsenal have enough to get over the line to beat City. But I think, it sounds obvious, but I think you just need to get to March, April.
You boys play them, what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Man City?
Yeah, we play them soon,
At home? Or away?
Yeah, I want to say it's at Anfield, the first one.
I can't remember. We've got a bit of a stinking run.
It's at Anfield because we play like Madrid at home, then we play City at home.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's the first weekend in December.
Yeah.
So a wee bit away.
Yeah, so a wee bit away. But I just don't see it. I think Chelsea have been good, man. Like that's what I mean. Not to like go back to like Ten Hag, but again, like he's already stamped his authority on the team and his personality. Like you can see it. Do you know what I mean? I do agree they're going to be inconsistent, but I really like how he's done things.
To be fair, I say that they've actually, considering how big the squad is, they're sticking to get the same 11, 12 players in the league games.
Yeah.
See, they've not played anyone over the age of 27 this year.
Really?
Yeah, Chelsea.
Really? He also has, I guess,
Enzo as well. And I noticed it's not really been spoken about.
Yeah, he's dropped in. Yeah,
Enzo, he plays against Latvia and Caicedo.
Latvia's look good.
He's sticking with them. He's not changing it.
Yeah.
You know what? You pretty much know what the Chelsea team's going to be now.
It just frees up Palmer with playing those two.
Yeah, exactly.
Massive. You need to make because he's
free roll.
You need to.
That ball for Neto was an absolute disgrace.
I've actually not seen it yet. I've not seen it, but
the boys.
He's so good.
He's
literally. I could watch him play football all day. Just struts about the place.
Struts about the place. Ross messaged me just as we were starting and said, "I think a good question for the pod would be who's currently the best player in the Prem." He says it's pretty obvious it's Cole Palmer, but it would be good to hear the boys' opinions. Is he the best player in the league at the moment?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Well, on form, ability, just in general.
Just whatever you want to put it as. Is he the best player in the league at the moment? Yeah.
I think you've always got to give Salah a shout out.
I was gonna say I think Salah, but
Yeah, but it's probably between those two, isn't it?
yeah.
I don't think you could argue. I think you'd have a case if we went with either or.
Who else has been good
I'll go
this year?
Palmer.
I'll go
man. Boys
Palmer,
a
I
joke.
think.
I'm
Yeah.
going
I
I
Palmer.
think he
I'd
is. I
He's
think
gone there. He's literally took it to another
the
level.
ability that Palmer's got, that he can go, he can come in from the right, he plays as a 10, he can drop back as an 8.
Everything goes through him for
Like his
Chelsea as
ball,
well. Eh?
yeah, like everything. He's just
Yeah.
got a free role in that team, and he seems to pick up the ball anywhere and create something.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Have you watched him off the ball? He's
really bad off the
terrible.
ball, yeah.
But mate, fucking.
You do what he
doesn't matter.
wants if he does that with
Yeah,
the ball.
100%.
You know what I mean?
It's a sacrifice. Like
Where
It's
just
an
walking
absolute-
about.
it's an absolute sacrifice. Yeah. Oh mate, that he's not
It's
interested.
interesting to see the player that he's actually become, because see at Man City, I remember when he was breaking through, it was more like, I thought he was going to be like the next Mahrez,
Yeah, like a winger.
sort of
Yeah.
like a winger coming inside from that right side. I didn't see him being kind of a 10.
Mate, I said at this a couple games in, or what was it with the England chat? I've always been saying play him off the right. I think that's where he's best, because he loves coming on that left foot and it totally. And he wants to play that pass like all the time. But now I look at it and I'm like, I'll be honest, I was totally wrong. I think it's a 10.
Yeah,
He can drop, he can drift. I didn't really know if he had that in him, but he's gone next level with that, isn't he?
His finishing's outrageous as well.
Oh mate.
Although to be fair, I do think Pope should save that one yesterday.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
I think
It was
that-
it was interesting though, because he was saying Maresca was saying in his press conference, he was saying the team's pretty much built around him, because the right back inverts, so Gusto, he loves pushing him inside, so that kind of gives Palmer the reins to like drift out on the right hand side, and it creates loads of space for him there, and that is where he's. But if you actually watch the games, he drifts like way more on the right hand side than he does coming over to the left hand side.
Yeah.
So it's quite
Yeah.
interesting to see. It's
He-
literally built around him, which why wouldn't you, man? It's
I think
boys a
that
joke.
I think that like number you talk about him playing in that like number 10. Like I think that is gone. That's disappeared for so long. Like when we all grew up, like Totties and that, and like you had that guy that basically you're saying about him not working off the ball. You had loads of those guys, and yeah, but when he gets the ball, I think that's coming back around, and it's coming back around. But the wingers, the wingers are becoming like the 10s.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like even Salah now. I'm not classing Salah's the playmaker. Salah is the playmaker. Get the ball to his feet.
It seems
and he
like
makes
he's
it
really improved. I mean, he's always been
Yeah.
good, but his like a kind of final ball and assist numbers
Yeah.
seem to be really good under
Mate,
slot.
ridiculous.
Like
Ridiculous.
seems to improve that.
I think
a
you
lot.
need to when you start to lose your pace in that though, don't you?
There was a
'Cause you
moment.
can't just
There was a moment yesterday. He spun someone, and he
timber.
was away.
It was
and I
Timber.
And
said
he
to
cut in.
I said to
Yeah.
Greg, I said Salah 3 years ago's in.
Yeah.
He's in, and he didn't have the pace to get away. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure if we'd had a race, he'd fucking kill us all. But, like, but
He's
the
still a
wingers are
joke.
becoming 10s, man. The wingers are becoming 10s. You're allowing.
Yeah.
It's been that for ages, mate. Though inverted wingers, it's been like that. For
No, but like,
years, mate.
but they're becoming like a 10 though. Like, I
It's
feel
because
like,
they're inverted.
huh?
Because they're inverted.
Yeah, but like I feel like the game is kind of coming back to where you have that one guy that kind of floats around. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I kind of feel like it's coming back to that. I like it. I like those types of players.
yeah.
So we're saying Palmer's the best.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I'll obviously throw
But
Salah's
we need
name.
some credit to Salah's name. Like he is a joke.
Yeah.
Mate, he's about
He's
to-
got to be. He's got to be the best player in that position in our time watching Premier
Yeah.
League football.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, that's him yesterday.
He's
Just
just about got the same numbers as Henri now, eh?
yeah, I'm just having a look.
13
He's-
goals behind Henri, I seen
yeah.
the other day.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's 12 now after
Oh,
yesterday.
of course.
12 after yesterday. So, but obviously, if he goes this year, we won't catch that. But like that's
He'll get he'll get 12 goals this season. 12
Yeah,
more
I'd
goals.
back him to score 12
yeah,
more.
he'll get 12 more goals this season in the league. Yeah, in the league, I guess so. Yeah, I think it was Carragher said it the other day or something. It was like, is Salah's surely now at the point where if you want to stay, you're kind of chasing to be like, I mean, then Frank Lampard's on 177 and Henri's on 175. So if he gets to Henri, he's beating Lampard. So that puts him as the 6th highest goal scorer in the Prem history.
How has Lampard scored so many goals?
177 goals, mate. Aguero got 184. I know he scored a lot, but just didn't. He was around for a while though, wasn't he? They got him young.
I was surely with Lampard. Surely Lampard played the majority of his career in like a 4-4-2 as well.
Yeah.
Just arriving late in the box.
That's
mate.
Just
frightening.
you could just see him arriving late. Just
That's
Yeah.
frightening.
Getting those
That's
cutbacks and
frightening,
drilling
mate.
it.
Yeah.
That
Jules-
I don't think that's not going to be from like a centre midfielder. That's never going to be broken again. Where the game's gone as well.
Do you think that as
No
well?
way.
Speaking of the wingers, I think the game's going back to like 2 centre mids as well. When you were talking about that, like your centre mids are now almost like back to like when we started growing. Like 2 guys are in there, like 1 goes, 1 stays. Like it's not that 6. What you were saying is kind of gone a little bit. a little bit again. Like Rodri plays in there, but then Rodri plays next to who fucking plays in there? My mind's gone blank. Kovacic. Like they've started to do two. Gravenberch plays like next to McAllister. Jones, like I know maybe one sits a bit deeper, but that's kind of gone back to like two centre mids again as well.
Rice and Marino did it yesterday, didn't
they?
Yeah,
Rice and Marino.
They were too.
Majority teams will play 4-2-3-1 now.
Yeah, a lot of the top teams are doing that, So, no, it's good. Salah's incredible. Like Salah's absolutely incredible. Just looking at those numbers there. Oh, the fucking story's going.
Where do you have Salah in your view in Liverpool's? Is it just the best?
All time.
Yeah, I mean he's in the all-time 11.
Yeah, he'd be in the all.
Yeah.
But as far as like your forwards, so you've like Suarez, Torres, Owen, Fowler, Salah.
He's one.
Yeah, he's probably one for me these days as well.
Yeah.
I love all him, I'd say so, yeah.
I did love Suarez just because he was such a bastard.
Yeah, Suarez was fucking class as well. That was like peak Suarez. I went to Barca won the Champions League in that.
Yeah, that last season at Liverpool and his first kind of 2-3 years at Barca were a joke.
Ridiculous.
Amazing, eh?
Nearly carried us to win the Premier League. I know we didn't, obviously, but with literally like Gerrard in behind them, fair enough.
Yeah.
But the other 9 players on that pitch were just a disgrace.
Right.
And he was just carried.
You watch Suarez's highlight reel for that season on his goals,
ridiculous.
and it's ridiculous.
My favourite goal ever, I don't know if it was that season, but it was the one against Newcastle where it came over and he like shoulders
over Colaccini's head. Is it Colaccini's
the first touch is
one of my favourite Suarez as well.
Controls it with his shoulder, mate.
Hat trick against Norwich was a joke.
Oh, they were bangers, that game against Norwich. 40 yards.
He's like flicking it over people's head and like catching up the volley.
Yeah,
He was ridiculous, man. Yeah,
imagine being like a proper good team, but on that Liverpool team.
Well, obviously when he went to Barca, he had Messi and Neymar next to him, eh?
But I think Salah's number one.
Salah's one, mate. Yeah. Salah's one.
He's also still just ripped. I know he's not that old, but like even yesterday.
I love his Instagrams recently.
Yeah, like posting in the gym.
Just random ones like on a Friday night before a Saturday game of him like fucking in the gym, just getting absolutely shredded.
Yeah.
Well, I wanna just talk about a little bit about the Scottish League to finish off, but I'll go around everyone just if you can, just like pretty simply like yes or no about Salah, Van Dijk, Trent. 'Cause that's big for Liverpool. Like that's hanging over Liverpool. That's 3. So I'll start with Ali. Let's start with Salah. Salah sign a new deal at Liverpool? Yes or
no? No.
No. I think he goes Matthew. Salah new deal? Yes or no?
I think about it every hour and I change my mind every time.
What's your mind at now?
Nah.
Greg?
I think Salah stays.
Go back to you, Greg. Trent?
I think Trent goes.
Matthew?
Oh, he's already away, mate.
He's already away. Heads in Madrid.
I've watched his last couple of performances. He's gone, mate.
Ali? Trent?
Yeah, I think Trent's gone.
Madrid.
I think the way he was saying that he wants to be this Ballon d'Or, and you need to be. We don't need to be, but I think playing at Real Madrid gives him that platform.
I agree.
That I got that from that interview. He was almost saying like I won't win it here.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I got from that interview. I'm not going to win the Ballon d'Or.
I remember Slott's been bringing him off in like 70th minute and that. You can tell he's like sulking in that. He's not used to that at all.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've got off to like a very good start.
He's been really good defensively, and don't get me wrong when it comes off, but there's a lot of times yesterday he's trying to play that pass and it wasn't on.
Oh,
and he's just hitting into the centre mid. Slot won't like that though because he's about the control. That's my point. So I think Slot's looking at going, I can get it right back. That it's that type of pass, that Beckham-esque pass that you can't replace, but I don't think he likes it.
Nah, and I don't. I think the one you can actually kind of replace out of that lot probably is Trent. To be honest with you, I think you can go bring a right back and still go on and win the league in that and do shit. But
I agree with you.
Salah, Van Dijk, and they kind of like you can't really replace them, can you?
I think Van
Dijk
stays.
Just start like
Van Dijk stays.
Yeah, I think Van Dijk stays as well.
Apparently Van Dijk just wants 2 years on the same
Van Dijk
terms.
will
stay.
That's all. That Van Dijk's just like I just want to stay 2 years exactly what I'm on.
Yeah, just do it, mate.
No,
just
2 years of
FSG
him being
don't do,
captain.
FSG don't re-sign guys over 30 or whatever. But.
Anyone want to say anything else on Arsenal Liverpool before we just finish off? Just want to talk about the Scottish League a little bit.
Yeah.
No? Good. We'll finish off with the Scotland League. Obviously, Ali said Hearts will split the Old Firm. Hey, listen, mate. I think you then said...
There's still time.
You then did... There's still time. You then did say, though, that you just felt someone was going to split it. It's really... But you jumped the gun, mate. I appreciate it. Putting that shout. That was probably one of the most viral clip I've put up, so we'll take it. Still get comments from Celtic and Rangers fans on it, mate. I mean, I just go on my TikTok and it's like fucking the boys have commented on this. Like it's like...
What, just hammer it out?
They'll be loving it. The Celtic boys will be loving it.
Rangers, but obviously Hearts have... Well, you watched the derby yesterday. What's your... Hearts have just been poor. Obviously, you've got... Yeah, I always say it wrong. Is it Neil Critchley?
Critchley, yeah.
What's your thoughts so far on him?
I was at the game on Thursday night in
you were,
Europe, and they were class.
Mm.
First half especially, they were really, really good. Like the best I've seen them play in ages. Pressing from the front, lots of high energy. They just gassed out, to be honest. Like after about 60 minutes, they're out of legs, and Ammonia were probably the better team for the last 20 minutes without really creating much, just kind of passing in front of the Hearts defence. The highlights of the St Mirren game, the 4-0, was much the same. I was in hospitality for the European game, and Shankland and Blair Spittle both came up afterwards.
Right.
And they're just talking about the differences between like Naismith and Critchley, and they're like, it's complete opposites. They were saying like they're not used to this pressing.
Oh, cool.
Shankland openly admitted he was blowing out his arse, and most of the boys were, and that's why the game sort of drifted away from them. So yeah, it's promising. I mean, as I said to you, I wasn't overly excited by his appointment, as I don't think many fans were. But yeah, they started all out. The derby yesterday, just a usual shite derby.
I actually didn't really see
not much quality at all. Like I think Hearts were better. From like a control aspect, they played better football, but Hibs certainly had the better chances.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, Hibs should have scored a couple of goals, to be fair.
Tough kind of form goes out the window, like where you're at with everything, in those kind of games. Like it's like
never a pretty game, Edinburgh derby. I can't remember the last one. It's like
honking.
Not one for a football purist.
Yeah.
Is he playing a 4-4-2?
Yeah.
He's on the ball and off the ball as well.
Yeah, he's actually changing it a lot throughout the game. Like he's like you're saying about Slot, like he's shown to be very adaptable. And what I quite like, what I do quite like is like he's making subs like early on, so he's not letting a game ride out, or if they're in a winning position, it's like, oh, just see this. Like he's quite proactive with his substitutions.
Right. Okay.
Which I quite like. I feel like Naismith was like reactive; they'll concede a goal and then they might have to make a change or something like that. But yeah,
good start.
It's been okay. Can't complain too much.
Are Aberdeen gonna do it? Are they gonna split it? Do we think?
I actually hope they do.
I really hope
they
do.
Just for a change, don't want to say anything and get abused online.
By the boys or the Blue Bears or something.
I think they will. Why?
Do you think they're gonna?
Again, I think it always
are there for the taking, man.
Yeah, it always
They
comes
got
down
them next
to
week.
injuries and that.
Aberdeen Rangers is this weekend.
I just worry they might
Sunday.
just drop off eventually, right? You ride the wave for, but can you ride that wave the whole season?
It's a long season, isn't it?
And also, like, Rangers have struggled. You're going to assume that they're going to get better as they go as well, right?
Rangers still, you talked about the fact that they've been like, it's quite annoying because like Rangers are really shit, but they're still going to win the majority of the games because everyone else is fucking pissed. You know what I mean? But I thought Aberdeen, when they went 2-0 down and brought it back to 2-2, and then obviously got the third goal that was disallowed, I thought that was a really big moment.
Yeah.
I thought that was really big for the team. And I specifically tuned into Sports Scene, and the way they celebrated the goals in that. Like, the boy got the ball at 2-1, and I thought there's a good mentality. Like, Rangers are there to be split. Celtic will win it comfortably. Celtic will win it comfortably. Rangers are there to be split. Rangers team's honking.
Yeah, they're not great. I think Clement won't see the end of the season. Like,
I don't think he will either.
I know, but then it's probably the same kind of situation, and not to go back to United, but like, what do they do then? They've got boys that he's brought in that they'd also have to pay him out.
Yeah.
Like, you're kind of starting over again from scratch.
They're gonna. Should have looked at the league table. I think are they 6 points behind Aberdeen and Celtic?
Yeah, it is 6.
Is it 6? Yeah.
Someone was saying that the other day.
Yeah.
There's going to get up. I mean, Celtic are what's going to keep them winning. If Aberdeen keep them winning, there's going to get up. I mean, if Aberdeen beat Rangers on Sunday, it's going to go 9.
Oh, yeah,
you imagine Celtic going to win? That's 9.
Wow.
Rangers need Champions League football, or else they're going bust again.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a point where like we're going to need to change this.
It's big pressure,
Yeah.
They've lost twice. So they've drawn 1, lost twice. Won 6 out of 9. Yeah, I just don't see anything about them at all. Like, and it is quite annoying because, like we said, they are going to win a lot of games because the rest of the league's honking. But I think Aberdeen need to just keep, like you said, if they can beat them on size at Aberdeen.
Yeah, that Pataudry.
It's at Pataudry. They need to beat them, They do need to beat them and just like psychologically start to get that like.
I think the draw at Parkhead will give them a lot of belief that they can, because going into that game, I thought, fair enough, they've won their first 7 games, but I thought Celtic would still hammer them.
Yeah, so did I.
So
and Celtic went 2-0 up as well, right?
Yeah.
Early.
So that result, I think, will give them a lot of belief that they can. And the way the Rangers are playing, I mean, I think Rangers will be in Europe probably through the week, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's this week. No, they won't.
Not this week because
No.
it's like cup games.
Yeah,
not this
League
week,
Cup,
but
yeah.
But yeah,
Rangers need to be careful. You've got like even like the league this year's really interesting. They got like Dundee, Ross County, St Johnstone that have like, you know what I mean. They kind of seem to have like hit a bit of form, and like you can see they've maybe got a little something about them and some ideas and that going on. So the league's really tough. Like not that it's ever easy at that, but I mean
they play Hearts as well in 3 weeks' time. I think it's at Ibrox, but you never know.
Hearts
a big
always
test
just
for Hearts and see where they're at under.
Critchley.
Yeah,
But that's
Hearts'
the
record against
mate.
Rangers must
That's
be
the
absolutely
terrible.
horrible.
That's why I thought that was really big because for Aberdeen, because like Hearts in that goal, and like we've gone to a couple in the last couple of years, and the game starts, and I can already tell, like you just don't believe you're gonna win today,
Yeah.
or even get anything. That's why I liked Aberdeen when they got the goal and they were getting the ball, and I thought as a group and the manager, they're like, no, we're fucking here to get something today, and I like that. I feel I don't think I've seen that in Scotland for ever. I don't know, a long time.
Yeah. I mean, for them to win 8 of the first 9 games still unbeaten is pretty remarkable.
Like you said, Beans, it'll be hard to ride the wave for the season, but see what they're not Europe or anything, are they?
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's just Saturday to Saturday.
One
As
game
Rangers
week.
are still in Europe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think there's not going to be a better chance for them for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like I said, like I know I was a bit biased saying Hearts will split the Old Firm, but I knew Rangers are there for the taking this year.
Yeah. They're on a bit of bother,
Yeah.
aren't they? If they really can't end up getting Champions League football and that, like
They're fucked.
They could be. That's a slippery slope, that one.
Were you going to say something there? Sorry, as well.
Do you think Hearts go to Ibrox and get at them?
See how the next couple of games go for Hearts.
Be
I don't
interested
know.
to see
Yeah.
if he goes there and just goes like, fuck it, impresses them from the get go and that.
There's not really any, like, there shouldn't be, the way the Rangers are playing, there shouldn't be any fear for Hearts not to do that. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
That's what I'm saying. Like, go with the mentality of like, user not shite, but like, user we can get at you. That's what Hearts never seem to do, man. Every time we've gone and watched it. By the one where you left, me and Greg can see you. You had your big light long jacket on.
Aye, it was
And
like,
Ali was
that was
fucking off.
away.
Ali
What was
was
the score in that game?
It was
3.
3. It was
But
3-0, but
it
they
was
had
scored
it.
on about
I
7.
think they had the ball in the net 6
Yeah.
times, but it was 3.
Yeah.
But 3 of them were offside.
And I'm
Morelos-
sure,
And there was an
Morelos
over-
scored and did like the same news slide
Yeah,
twice.
unreal. I love that celebration.
Yeah.
And they got a penalty and VR overturned it to say it wasn't a penalty. I think
Yeah.
Ryan Kent
going down
dives
a bit
maybe.
easy, aye.
And I'm sure Hearts were on a good bit of
They
form
were.
there, so you're going
They
into it
were.
with a bit of optimism.
They were so fucking
So I mean,
bad.
like the game kicked off, and I remember saying to Greg, "I'm like, mate, they don't have any intensity or bite to them."
I don't think they got over the
Nothing,
generally don't even think they got over the halfway line. That's
I
not a
totally
joke.
Did. Aye, teams need to go do that, man. You need to. Football's like I said that in the clip I posted. I think like that's why I like so much of football is just about your mentality as a group, eh? Like that's then the life in general, but it's just about mentality as a group. So I think they do it. I think that'll probably about do us, boys. I mean, what else? I mean, not to just put Ali out. I said Wolves are going to be decent on the Gary O'Neill. They're currently at bottom of the league. Do you like Gary O'Neill though? Brought it back against Brighton 2-2.
Did you see the second goal?
Yeah.
You see Brighton absolutely fuck it.
Yeah,
mate.
Brighton
4-on-1.
4-on-1.
Yeah, just played it straight
Shambles.
to that Toby Doyle who just clipped it.
All I could do was just dink it far post and
Yeah.
like, you'd be fuming.
Gary O'Neill, Bede said Palace. Not been shite.
Beat Spurs.
Beat Spurs, yeah.
It was. I think it was the first one of the season. To be fair.
Is anyone, I mean, are we, just to finish off, do we think the 3 that came up are going back down? Southampton are going back down.
I think I said pre-season that Ipswich would stay up.
You did.
Um,
They're a bit Luton-y, aren't they? Like
Southampton bottom of the league. I think we all said that.
Yeah.
They're a bit Luton-y, Ipswich. They remind me of Luton, like there's a bit about them, but
Who else
they'll
came
stick.
up?
And
Southampton.
and Leicester. Leicester, mate.
Nah, I think Leicester are down as
I think they
well.
all go back down.
Leicester to
Tell
Southampton.
you what, we also it's like what's kind of saving like, not like Everton at the moment, for example. It's just the teams that come up are just really shit.
Yeah, really shit, mate. Just can't like Southampton have scored. No, Southampton are Wolves' goal difference is -13, 1 and 2 points at the bottom. Ipswich are on 4. Ipswich as well were 2-0 up against who did they just play? Brentford, mate. And then they haven't won. Have they won yet?
And we almost scored in the last minute
no,
as well,
yeah,
because they made it 3-3 with 10 men.
When's
Yeah.
someone going to sign him, man?
Who?
Mbeumo.
I know, it's weird that no one's really signed him.
The
Looks
oldest
like
looking
well,
24-year-old.
say.
there
Mate,
is.
I didn't. When
And
I
his
found
name's
out he was
Brian,
20, I
so
was
he
like,
just seems even
holy
older.
shit, mate.
Yeah, I
Year-old
thought
Brian
he was
Mbeumo.
like in his 30s. Like when
Yeah.
I found out, I was like, wow. Cameroon
He's good
blood.
to be fair.
He is good, mate. He's
Can't believe
25,
a white person
25.
actually.
Yeah.
Catchy that, mate.
Mentally.
Fucking 25. I thought he was like 31. What did you say?
Nothing, mate. Who's everyone's like player to watch this season? Who's like kind of like?
Well, I said Harvey
Impressed,
Elliott. He's haven't fucking played.
Yeah, I said that as well. No, it's been like now 9 games in or whatever. Have you watched anyone been like, obviously kind of like surprised why it's not like fucking Palmer and that, but
Yeah, I know.
I honestly, who I think, not to bring it back to Liverpool, but who I think Liverpool should sign is Robertson's replacement, who's also only 23, 24, is 8 and Ori at Wolves. He fucking scores for them every week.
I've quite liked the comeback of a physical number 9. The way that Chris Wood plays and Delap for Ipswich,
Class,
kind of bullying centre halves. You know, that's just, we're not really. Haaland's obviously brought that out a bit, but before that, there wasn't really any in the league.
Agree.
So
Agree.
I thought that's been quite refreshing.
yeah, it's a good shout. Like,
Fair.
Beans anyone?
Can't even think of anyone off the top of my head.
Matthew, who have you got?
Tielemans.
Tielemans at Villa.
Yeah, I've watched
He's
those
going
of
under the
them.
radar there, eh? He
Class,
makes some
mate.
tick.
He's
Villa,
replaced. He's replacing
John
Douglas
Duran as well,
Luiz
he's
as
another number 9.
Duran. Yeah.
It's a good
You know
shout.
who I loved the last few weeks, because I know he has a head case. I've enjoyed watching Nunes the last couple of weeks. I know he's still just a nightmare, but like,
Just
see when he
running
came on
about.
against Chelsea, he's just running into folk.
Yeah.
And that.
He's a lot more calm and controlled on their slots, like calm them down.
I seen a thing because like yesterday,
Yeah.
Don't know about
he's
that.
trying to shoot. Like when he got the assist for Salah yesterday,
He almost fell
last
over.
season he would just twat that against the side net.
Yeah. He almost fell over, mate, when he tried to square it.
Yeah,
I
he
was
did, to be
laughing.
fair.
Jota's a big mess. We need him back, man.
What's that?
Jota's a big mess.
I know he always gets something, Jota, though, doesn't he? There's always something. Just the way he plays, he's always involved in it. But yeah, sound. I think that'll do us, boys. Unless anyone
Lovely.
has any other pressing things. No,
Yeah.
good.
Nah,
All right,
all good.
cool.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Him teeth bed.
Cheers. Same teeth bed.
You still hungover, Matthew?
Oh, I need my bed, man.